Hi world, it's Sunday the 7th of May, it's about 8:30 in the morning. I did a great podcast yesterday with a blogger called Spoon of Consciousness. We're going to make it live, free of charge, in about a few weeks' time once it's been edited. It's about an hour long, so that's going to be really interesting. I will send it out free of charge to people. I'll put it on this channel or something in a few weeks' time. During the conversation of that, we covered a lot of different facets of astrology, including some really deep esoteric and hermetic stuff. One of the things that came up gave me cause to thought about the difference between two often misused words in the nature of astrology. What's the difference between soul and spirit? So did some thinking about this, and over the years I've always been confused. I thought, well, how do you define the difference between soul and spirit? And recently, especially just by using astrological metaphor, I've kind of worked my way around this, and there are astrological references to this. When I do a reading for a client or anyone, and I'm getting into the deep stuff, especially around transits and progressions. When I deal with the progressed horoscope, I always start it by saying, well, look, the progressions deal with what I call the growth of the soul from within. This is nothing to do with the outside world, external environments, anybody else's influences. It is solely to do with the development of a person from within themselves, whether it is in terms of identity with the progressed sun or the internal emotional status with the progressed moon. Generally, that's all the progressions I use, although others do get dipped into where necessary. But this talks about the growth of the soul from within. Spirit is more of a relationship with the divine, with divinity. And it's more to do with the outside world and the cosmos. When you look up into the heavens, when you reach out to the universe, when you have your own relationship with the divine, however you define that relationship as being, whether it is with Allah, with Buddha, with God, or whether it is with the universe, is what I call the upstairs department. That is spirituality. That is your relationship with spirit, and the way you go about this defines your own essence of spirituality. Whereas soul is much more internalized. It sits within, and in many ways, as a few of you know, I've given up with the idea of reincarnation and even death. I just see it now as a transition of consciousness when you physically leave this body and move on to what I call the next dimension, or the different sphere of existence, different dimension of existence. So in many ways, this body that I'm in at the moment could be seen as my soul carrier. It's the shell that my soul inhabits whilst it's here at this time in this space-time continuum on planet Earth. With soul, it's a very much personal thing. So I do believe that as far as soul goes, astrologically speaking, it is purely linked to the sun and the moon, the two parts that are defined as the individuality and the personality. Everything else, all the other planets, the ascendant and the midheaven, they deal with the way you relate to the outside world. But the sun is your identity, it's your core. The moon is about your feelings, not your emotions. Emotions are triggered by other people and external environments. Feelings are innate, they are yours. Spirit is more defined to an extent by one's Neptune and the position of Neptune and the aspects of Neptune in one's chart, and how you use that Neptune, whether it be for alcohol, drugs, narcotics, escapism, avoidance, divinity, spirituality, imagination, creativity, aestheticism, compassion, empathy. I'm in no rush to leave this planet, and I'm in no hurry to physically move into the next dimension, to consciously move into the next dimension. But when I do, I'll be very interested to find out if I'm right. It's not that I'm looking forward to dying, but I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Now, seeing as I'm talking about soul and spirit, perhaps today's if is going to be even more interesting. One of the big things that came up in this podcast yesterday was the 2,000, 3,000 year history of misogyny that's permeated almost every single religion in the world. So here's today's if. If you could say just one short sentence to the current Pope, what would it be? In my opinion, if in my mind, I would say to the Pope, what is the real reason that women have been so disempowered over the millennia? Catch you tomorrow, world. Bye.